Hey there, welcome to CNT Collectibles. I am C. Hope you are doing well. All right, hope everyone had a nice holiday there. Took a few days off myself, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And now it's too cold to go outside, so let's get back to work here. So we'll take a look at some left fielders today, see who may or may not be on a Hall of Fame track to put together our off-season shopping list here. So this will actually be a kind of a quick one. Not a lot of longer term interesting targets, but it's a lot of very flush with some of the younger guys that are worth keeping an eye on here. So, anyways, for the left fielders, we have 23 of them in the Hall of Fame. The average Fangraphs WAR is 65.73. Average Baseball Reference WAR is 65.10. So, not a lot of difference between them. So, the trajectory should be pretty similar for all of them. If there's any huge discrepancies, we'll point them out. I didn't really see anything of note here. So, highest Fangraphs WAR 130. Ted Williams, most hits 3,400. Carl Yastrzemski, most home runs 521. Ted Williams. It would have been interesting to see where Ted Williams wound up had he not missed 3 years in his prime going to fly planes. So we're very thankful that he did that. But gosh, he did pretty well without that. So people complaining about, or when I make a note of people missing half a season or 2/3 of a season in 2020, it's like, dude missed 3 of them for a pretty darn good reason and didn't slow him down any. So anyways, 3,000 hit club. Yaz, Henderson, Lou Brock, and Stan Musial. So Ted Williams is the only member of the 500 home run club there. So on the ballot this year, see if we can add to the list. We have Cargo, 25 Fangraphs WAR, 24 Baseball Reference, 424 Jaws. When we're looking for the average Hall of Famer to have a peak of those best 7 years, around 54 wins above replacement, above average bat, no question about it. He had a few terrific years, and then he had a lot of off years as well. So I don't know how long he'll hang around. I don't think we'll add him to the long-term list, but gosh, he was sure fun to watch when he played. So some notables that are off the track. So sometimes you get questioned, what about this guy? What about this guy? Well, put him into context a little bit. I like to show some players that gosh, they have some good years from time to time, but you gotta do this consistently and for a very long time. So Ian Happ, Brandon Nimmo, and Kyle Schwarber, all entering their 30s or just past that mark, and they're roughly half to 2/3 off the pace to get to that number. Our marker here is 62 by age 35, and the reason I did that is simply because at age 35, your average Hall of Famer has 62 wins above replacement. So makes it pretty easy to check out that trajectory. They'll have a couple of years after that where they put up a little bit of productivity, but for the most part, again, they cap out at around 65. Again, Ricky Henderson, gets way up there, and Ted Williams, and so you have people on the other side of that. But as of late, look at players like Jim Rice and things of that nature. You can get in with roughly that 65. It's kind of your starting point, and we'll see if you can do anything beyond that. All right, this is probably the most interesting part of the video right here. But of course, you're going to stay and watch till the end because I'll just fly through it. But Jackson Churio, Evan Carter, James Wood, Jason Dominguez, White Langford, and Colton Cowser. Off to some pretty nice starts here. And there'll be players to watch. We'll see how this shakes out. But when you look at who's on that longer term path, very few players. You start out with a lot of players, and then it whittles itself down. So be cautious, be mindful of price. But these are some players that are at least interesting. And honestly, a lot of these players switch between left and right field. And there really isn't a whole lot of difference between the wins above replacement trajectory or anything like that. If they go to center field, that's a different story. But we've got guys. Juan Soto was a left fielder last year. Now he's a right fielder. So I don't care too much about left field, right field. I just go with where they're playing now, just so you can kind of get a feel for where this is for my methodology. If they go to center field, then again, that's a little bit bigger deal. So, all right, these guys are kind of interesting. So, average WAR for the left fielder, they start to peak around age 24 and maintain that until age 34, and then it starts to drop off a cliff here. So that's why we cut it off at age 35. You just have a few years of some level of productivity, but nothing too crazy. So this is where your peak really is, and so we want to see them average somewhere between 4 and 5 wins on an annual basis. If you have to do too much more than that, then we're not going to give them strong consideration. Although some players did peak very well at this age, and we don't have any players that are Ricky Henderson, Ted Williams-esque or anything like that. So, although Ted Williams did miss 24, 25, and 26, so he's not in there. But other terrific players are. So we'll see if anyone can measure up to any extent here. We'll start off with Stephen Kwan. Again, it's slim pickings here. So 26 years old. Roughly 12 and 13 WAR respectively between the F WAR and the B WAR. 5.26 on an annual basis to get to that 60 by age 35. So, excuse me, I might have said 62 by 35. I think right fielders are 62. Left fielders, if you get to 60 wins by age 35, that is your average number. So if I misspoke earlier, I apologize. 479 hits, 117 weighted runs created. Now he's a terrific bat. There's no question about it. It's got an All-Star game, 3 Gold Gloves, well, pretty darn good glove too. So he's got some hard work to go along with this, but he got a little bit of a later start. You can see that trajectory in terms of wins above replacement, so he's going to have to keep it up and maintain productivity for quite a while here. If you wanted to look at, and we did this with Luis Arias, where you have kind of that empty batting average, you compare him to like a player like Rod Carew. I'm not saying Rod Carew is an empty batting average or anything like that, but 3,000 hits is kind of the metric to get you in. So there's another path for some of these guys, whether it be home runs or hits, and Rod Carew had 3,056, 54, something like that. So, right around the 3,000 number, and he's tracking that again, but came up a little bit late. So, one to watch, terrific bat, great glove. Obviously, can he do this for the next decade? Again, starting late, can he be productive into his late 30s? That'll be the ticket there. Riley Green, tracking perfectly with your average Hall of Famer, who's sitting at around 8 wins above replacement, at his age 23. So he's doing everything right now. So, and he's averaged 4.38 wins on an annual basis to get to that 60 wins by age 35. Again, the average Hall of Famer has 60 at age 35, so it makes it an easy number to go for. So, that's all-star level play. He's doing that. And can he keep it up for the next decade? That's the real question here. So 120 weighted runs created. So terrific bat. He's got an All-Star game under his belt, and the Jaws, again, not terribly relevant right now until you put up 7 seasons at least to pick off your best 7. So his best 2. Well, there you go. So off to a terrific start. And one of your more established younger targets. So you look at some of those other guys on the list. Can they start putting their the ones to watch? Can they get their but into Riley Green mode very quickly here? So Christian Yelich, he was certainly on the track and above the pace for a while, and then he started to fall off just a little bit. Now he was hurt and missed a few years, and then he just had a few unproductive years. After his 2018 was an MVP, something like that. So. Last year, he was as good as he was in his MVP season, and then after something like 72 games, he got hurt, and he was a terrific bat. He had 158 weighted runs created, right in that number there, three wins to his name. That he would have been a 6 or 7 win player last year, and really helped him help his case out. But nonetheless, he got hurt. So the talent is still there. Can he be healthy as he enters the tail end of his peak? So he'll have to have a couple of really nice seasons to play catch up. But he does have some nice tiebreakers here. So Fangraphs and Baseball Reference WAR, they're right in line. He's averaged between 5 and 6 wins on an annual basis to get to that 60 wins by age 35. And again, last year he showed he's certainly capable of doing that. So let's see if he can do that over the next couple. 1,500 hits. We want to see at least 2,000 out of that number. Home runs and weighted runs created. So he's a legit bat. There's no question about it. We know all this. He just needs to that first half of last year, do that again for the next couple, and do it for the whole season this time, would you? So MVP, a couple of top 5 MVPs, 3 All-Star games, Gold Glove, 3 Silver Sluggers, so outside looking in, but if he's at least remotely close, he's got some nice tiebreakers there. And we'll wrap it up here with Yordan Alvarez. Like I said, this is a little bit slim picking. Center field and right field are a little bit deeper here, but Yordan Alvarez, who more of a DH, but when he plays in the field, he plays left field. So we're gonna take him here. So he's a beast. There's no question about it here. So the health, the legs, is that gonna be all right? So he. Like the rest of the league, flattened out a little bit in 2020, but his trajectory has been right in line since then. So 27 years old, 23 wins above replacement. Needs to average 4.5 to get to that 60 by 35, 166 weighted runs created. So the bat is absolutely legit. He's a Rookie of the Year, top 5 MVP, 3 All-Star games, Silver Slugger. And, his Jaws, again, he's starting to put up some really nice seasons. You got to wait till you get 7 deep before you start really taking the Jaws seriously. To look at the peak for their career, but he's on a terrific pace. We got to look for another couple of those MVP level seasons. Doesn't necessarily have to win it, but that would add some legitimacy to this. He's tracking as well as anybody at this position. So that's what I got for you. We'll come back with some center fielders, right fielders, and then do a roundup, and then we'll call it. So, I've got a few more weeks of this anyway. So, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we will talk to you later. Bye now.